All right. So as you can see, we got our noodles boiling up in here. Now you want to get a little softer. With other noodles, you can have a little crunch to them. With macaroni and cheese, I personally like my noodles to be soft. That's just the way I am because it's easier to mix in the cheese, when they're softer. When it gets to, now when your water gets to a boil, you might want to turn down the heat just a tiny bit, not much, just a tiny bit, so the water doesn't boil over. Because I've had that happen before. So it's always a good idea to do that. Just a tiny bit, not much, just a little bit. Now I like to get things cooking and fast, so I like to keep my stove top on high. On high is the best way to go. So anyways, that's the best way to go for me anyway. Love this grape juice. Anyway. So anyways, you want to stir them around a little bit so you know that they're getting softer or that they are soft. I don't like them totally soft, they're like mush, but I have had that happen before. Alright, so after you're done, after you feel that your noodles are finally ready to be strained, you want to turn your stove top on low. That's the most important part right there, is make sure that your stove top is on low. Make sure all the noodles get in there, because this is the most important part. Alright, so I got my cheese here. Now, love it, love it. Alright, so now you get your butter. Get a little bit, pop it in there, stir it around a bit. So you got your butter, you got to stir it around just a little bit. Just so it can grease up the bottom of the pot, of your cooking pot or pan or whatever you're doing. Butter's better for this dish because you don't want to add in any oil, because it doesn't taste right. Macaroni and cheese, it doesn't taste right, Alright, so you want to make sure that you got your pan greased, or your pot greased. Tiny bit more, because I'll let it sit there for a minute. It's always good if you let it sit on the burner for even a second. It'll start to, the butter will start to stick. It won't do its job right. Alright, so now you want to stir in the butter into your noodles. Why? So the noodles so the cheese won't stick to the noodles completely. So now the butter is doing two things: sticking it to the pan, and also sticking to the cheese, keeping the cheese from sticking to the noodles. So that's very important that you do that as well, and you get a perfect balance of it, or you'll have like a really buttery, milky taste to it, and it's gross. At least to me it is. I don't like a really buttery taste personally. I really don't. A little bit, perfect. When I go to the movies, I don't even put butter on my popcorn because I don't like it. Too much butter makes me kind of sick, personally. I don't like it too much. Alright, so you've got this going on right here, and stirring it up. And it's a little bit more so it's evenly distributed in there, so you want to make sure that you got it at least even in there now. The most important part is make sure that everything's even and that everything is great, Everything is perfect. You want everything to be perfect while you're cooking, because the more perfect it is, the better it's going to taste for you and your family, or just for you. Or maybe for your girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever you're cooking for. I'm cooking for myself right now, so I'm kind of hungry. Alright, so you want to get regular old American, or your favorite kind of cheese even. I mean, I could do this even with, you can do this with pepper jack cheese, but a good melty cheese. And American is my favorite because it has more flavor to it. But then again, I like, my personal favorite cheese on a sandwich is pepper jack. I really can't stand the taste of this, at all. But this is a really good melty cheese. you may want to take one or two. See how you might want to take one or two slices of cheese and break it up. You want to tear it in little bits. You want to tear it in little bits. Put them on the noodles like this. You know, tear them in little bits. Pop it in there one bit at a time. Bits keep on falling. Okay, anytime now you little piece of cheese, you just like, you know. Alright, now, if your cheese doesn't melt in your own speed, now if you're a quick cooker, I'm not, but I'm going to pick it up a little notch. I'm going to do what the end roll says, kick it up a notch. I'll come to my own, with my own catchphrase here, so bear with me now, as I get through this. Alright, so now 1 or 2 doesn't get the amount of cheese that you want. You always add in more if you like. You like it. Like a macaroni and cheese cheesy, you add in more cheese. I, for one, don't like it too cheesy. I like it perfect. I like the taste of noodles. I honestly love noodles, as you can tell. I love noodles so much that I have noodles coming out my nose sometimes. Alright, so I got a few minutes left to continue this after this. So here we go. We're stirring it up. You want to get quick with it now, because once the cheese starts to stick, I like a little stick to my. I like to see cheese. I like the noodles stick together a little bit because it cuts down on the eating time. I got other things to do than eat personally. I'm a fast eater. I eat and I'm out of there. I eat and I'm done. Next, I might just cook my dessert for you, and I'll show you exactly my dessert recipe. It's really simple. Anyone can do it. I think anyway. Oh. To die for. That's perfect. For the amount of noodles I had, it was a perfect amount of butter and cheese. Now stay tuned after these messages to get. Stay tuned after these messages. Now y'all better come back now, so that I can show you my dessert recipe. Until then, remember, I'll be watching ya. Till then, remember, come on back.